Robyn is the Senior AgTech Extension Officer at the Department of Primary Industries and Regions. She has been involved in the development and research of technology in livestock for 12 years, and I'll get you to introduce yourself for the rest. Thanks, Robyn.
Thank you very much for that, Nikki. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of what we are doing within the whole PIRSA program as well, so you've got a fair idea of what is going on. So across the whole of the state, we have 5 PIRSA SARDI run farms. So obviously Nuriopta here, we have the viticulture. We also have some horticulture, so we've got some apricots and cherries, I believe, as well here. So we've also got Turretfield, which is not too far away from here, which is about a 20-minute drive. So they've got sheep and also a cropping program going on. Loxton as well, again, they have about 4 hectares of commercial vineyards as well, and also a more extensive horticulture program, almonds, avocados, everything. And we've also got Minnipa over on the Eyre Peninsula as well, which they have a more extensive cropping program, so very much cereals, and then also a couple of hundred sheep as well as. And then down in the southeast of the state, we have Struan and Carbobolite. That's actually where I'm based. That's where my office is. And there we've got cattle, sheep, and a cropping program, as well as nowhere near as extensive as Minnipa. But collectively, I tallied this up last week, and I was a little bit, very happy with what our progress has been. So collectively across the 5 farms, we have 76 AgTech companies on board, which includes 90 AgTech solutions. So there have been a lot of companies that have actually donated a lot more technology to the program than just 1 or 2. And I will also point out that we're also setting up on Kangaroo Island as well, very much in the infancy of that project, but we are looking to set up a big demonstration project over there, run a little bit differently because PIRSA doesn't actually have a farm over there, so it will actually be done on producers' properties. So why have the AgTech demo farms? So there's a lot of new management practices coming out, there's a lot of new technology coming out, there's a lot of new technology being developed as well. And all this technology, it is being commercialised, and what we are trying to do is assist producers to be able to break that down. At the moment, the AgTech field is an absolute mind boggle sometimes to know what's actually good for you, what's actually going to do the right thing for you, because I don't want to have you purchase a piece of technology and have it sitting in the shed for 10 years. That's not what we want. So we're here to assist you to decide what will work for you in your enterprise and why should you install that. What is the actual value proposition of that to you? So then you can make that right decision for your enterprise. So the aims, what we're trying to achieve, so every time we get an expression of interest come in, we will look at that technology and then identify, is this solving a farm management decision? So we sit down with Roger, is part of our Nuriopta farm committee, and we have farm committees across all the other sites as well. And so we sit down with the farm managers, the researchers as well, and just sort of think, is this going to solve an issue on farm? Because if it's not going to solve an issue for us, it may not solve an issue for you. And then also, it's the strategic use of technology. So again, I don't want a bright shiny gadget just sitting in the paddock, not actually being used, not able to be fully utilised. So it's strategic, it has to solve an issue on farm and maximise production efficiencies. Throughout the process as well, we are looking at determining, first off, the value proposition of that technology and then communicating that to producers. When we're going a little bit further and trying to work out return on investments as well as. So those return on investments, we have done quite a few at Struan. They are based on educated assumptions, but that was in a response to the agricultural tech survey, which was conducted, and overwhelmingly producers came back and said the value proposition and return on investments are not well articulated. So we're trying to solve that problem for you. So how does the AgTech demo program work? So there is an expression of interest process that all of the technology companies here today have actually entered into. Again, we'll just look at what the solution is that providing on farm, what is the value proposition of that, and very importantly, the technology companies here today have actually provided those technologies free of charge, including the subscription fee. So I do thank them completely, because this program would not be possible without that kind support from them. The last thing is the technology all needs to be provided commercially available to producers. So there's nothing here that's on the farm that you can't now purchase for yourself. So there's no point in having a technology here for you if you can't then actually go away and use it yourself. So we do have a range of technology at Nuriyupta which we have heard from. Again, yeah, if there's anything that you want to see physically at any point, you can come back here and have a tour as well. So Nuriyupta, any of the other farms are also open for producers to come and actually have a one-on-one tour if you want to ask any further questions. So what is the value proposition of the technology that we have here? First off would say, what is it you want to achieve? So please don't go and purchase and adopt a piece of technology without going, what is the problem I first want to solve? And then we can help you look at what technology solutions are available to help solve that problem. So that could be anything from saving water costs, knowing when to irrigate and when not to irrigate, understanding the weather conditions. A lot of people do use BOM data. From the work that we have done at Struan, we have 4 different weather stations spread across about 1,100 hectares. There is a vast amount of difference between those weather stations. In terms of the microclimate that is around, up in our sandy country, is a lot different to what is actually happening on our flats. So to be able to piece that information together to know exactly where you are and what conditions are happening right then at that minute is really, really important. I will also say that the data that we're getting from the weather stations, because our nearest BOM data is actually in Narracourt, so there is actually a vast difference between the weather station data and the BOM data as well. So it's more highly accurate for you, especially if you're integrating weather stations into things like SWAN systems. Having that information, which is highly accurate for you, is really important. You can also, remotely monitor vine health, disease detection, ensure biosecurity and safety. A lot of the time, you can go spend more time on holiday. You can have that peace of mind. You can spend more time with your family. If you want to work 4.5 days instead of 6 days, 7 days often. So it really is about giving you that peace of mind and taking away a job that you don't have to do that is actually being solved by the technology. In terms of return on investment of AgTech, a lot of people do ask me, okay, how much money am I going to get back from this piece of technology? You will get out of it what you also put into it. The data won't make you any money whatsoever. If you are making the right decisions at the right time from that data, that's where that technology will actually pay itself back. So you do need to think through, what are the potential labour savings that you could achieve from this? What are the potential reduction in costs that you could achieve? What are the potential increases in production and profitability that you could actually achieve? And how long will the technology last for as well? Does it have a 10-year lifespan? Is it going to need to be replaced in 5 years potentially? All good questions to ask to the suppliers as well. But sometimes it isn't actually all about the profit. So it provides you that peace of mind. You can go on holiday. This is probably the example I give the most is water monitoring during summer. You can go away to the beach. You can go on that fishing trip and actually have peace of mind that water is okay. I'm more thinking in terms of livestock, so your stock aren't going to go without water, but it is really important for your vines as well. So just having that peace of mind and understanding what is happening on your farm, you don't have to be there, you can actually step away. In terms of adoption considerations as well, there are a lot of things that are really useful to think about. So it's not all just about the cost and what's the ongoing subscription cost as well, but also connectivity. If you're in a situation where you have 3G or 4G access, there are a lot of technologies available, but that doesn't mean that there aren't technologies available if you don't have that mobile phone reception. So there is satellite. There is things like LoRaWAN, which is long range wide area network, where that can actually talk to the technology itself, and you don't have to have that 3G or 4G access. When you are thinking through that, I would just think, like, where is this technology actually going to be placed on your farm, and then work out what connectivity solutions you're actually going to need. Power is another important one. More often than not, the technology can come in terms of solar panels, batteries, or even mains power. So again, it's just what is going to work best for you. The communication as well. Again, in terms of like water monitoring sort of thing, when we get an alert, sometimes we get that on text message, sometimes we get that on emails. Some of the technology may actually send you a text or an email every day. You've just got to think about how you want it to actually communicate to you and what's going to be best for you. Installation as well. So ask any of the tech suppliers today, is installation included in the cost? How easy is the installation if it's not included? Can I do it by myself? Then also, what is the after-sales support from the technology suppliers? So really important, you need to be able to be in contact with them, especially like understanding the dashboards as well of the technologies. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get your head around, so just ask them what is your after-sales support there. And then finally, what is the cost and the ongoing subscription costs? Is it within your budgets? I do say sometimes that it's not about adopting right now. It's about thinking about, okay, this is available, but it's not in my budget for the next 2, 3, 5 years, but you're aware of what's happening. So there's something to think about as well. So it doesn't have to be right now, but if it's going to help your business in years to come, it's something to think about. I'll also go through, so we have different programs apart from the AgTech demonstration farm project as well. This is particularly for technology companies. So if you are a startup, the technology doesn't have to be commercialised currently. It can be commercialised if that's where your technology is up to. But this is about providing support for the technology companies to be able to talk with producers, understand what their pain points are, understand is their technology actually going to be of benefit on farm? Is it fit for purpose on farm as well? Because we don't want a technology coming onto farm and it being completely obliterated by foxes or birds or anything like that. So it needs to be really robust and fit for purpose on farm. And that's what it's about in providing that, that help, that service to the startup companies as well. To help us provide that advice to the companies as well, we have 3 companies which are engaged with PIRSA. So we've got BDO, Accent and Hydra Consulting as well. So if that's something of interest to you, there's an expression of interest process and yep, free to actually join that program. And currently we have 29 companies engaged in that program, but that program will be finishing up December next year, so 2023. In addition to that, we also have the AgTech testbed program. So this is very much for technology that is not yet commercialised, needs that little bit of on-farm data, or potentially you've got a technology which hasn't actually been on any farm whatsoever and you need to actually have that testing done. And we can provide that help and that support to be able to bring that technology onto farm, provide you back with some data and then some resources behind that as well to get through the proof of concept of the technology. And again, that's an expression of interest process that you're all technology companies are free to join. That's it from me. If you do want to contact myself or Dominic Cossier, he's in the back there, and he is our AgTech Extension Officer. But please feel free, if there's any of the technology farms that you would like to visit, call one of us, and we can help set up that producer tour as well.